We are down here on the ground at Paris-Roubaix for the whole weekend, and we are taking a look at the hottest tech. And thank you to Vittoria for sponsoring this video and making it possible for us to be here. We are going to kick off with what I think is the most tricked out bike of the whole weekend. It's Taco van der Hoorn's Cube Lightning Aero C68X. This thing has so much going on. We have new Hutchinson Racing Lab tyres, and these are in a 35mm size, which is wild, but that is not all. If you go down to the back end, you'll find a GRX Di2 rear derailleur. Now, Taco himself says that this is eliminating all chances of ghost shifting. Now, up at the front here, I've got to crawl in because I can't quite see, but yeah, we've got what I suspected, a 56 tooth chainring up front. That is a double setup, and then if you take a look at the bar arrangement here, Taco is a rider that likes his hoods really low over the front, so he can get into the most aero position going. That is a proper Paris-Roubaix bike, and I love every bit of it. Two of the biggest threats for today's men's race is Mathieu van der Poel and Jasper Philipsen. Both riders are starting today on 32mm tyres. Now, these are their spare bikes. The race bikes are just down there. They've been whisked away. So we've only been able to film with these, but we have been able to shoot those. Very interesting setups because there's not much interesting about them. Bigger tyres, but apart from that, neither rider seems to be doing much to their bike to prepare for the cobbles. All right, Pogačar's bike, this is the main man. You can tell this is the main man's bike because it is tricked out. Got the MV 4.5 wheels. If you're getting carbon tie chain rings with your own little logo imprinted on them, then you know that you're a big rider. The rest of the bike, to be honest, is pretty standard. We've seen rumourings of a new V5 RS, but this is the old V4 RS. Maybe Pogačar just wants to go with what he trusts. It's a lovely pearlescent finish with the rainbow detailing. But the one thing that I think Pogačar has done to his bike to really make it suitable for the cobbles is 32mm tyres. These are the Continental GP 5000S TR tyres, so full tubeless setup. And that's pretty much it. He's got his bar tape all the way to the stem, but really this is a very standard bike for the world champion. So drawing quite a crowd here is Chloe Dygert's bike, and I think for several reasons. One, stunning paint job. Two, lovely SRAM drivetrain. And if we just look down here, that is a 52 tooth chainring. One by setup, absolutely massive, but hidden in plain sight, those are some new Zip wheels. They have the Tyre Whiz insert in them. We're not really sure what's happening yet with these. These seem to be launching quite soon. So we should have details at some point, but we saw these at Omloop on Tom Pidcock's bike, and they're back again for Paris-Roubaix. Elsewhere, I'm trying to spot the tyre size. We've just had it confirmed by one of the team mechanics that 34mm is the tyre size, which is massive. Across the whole team, they are running less than 3 bar. Wow. So over with the Factor bikes of the IPT team here, loads of one by chain rings going on, but I was looking for gravel bikes because last time there was a bit of a rain in the air. This lot ran gravel bikes and it didn't go so well for them, but they're back on the aero bikes for this year. So to make these 13-speed derailleurs work with the 12-speed road cassette, all the mechanics have done is drilled into this derailleur and put like a new kind of limit screw in there, because obviously these are made for the UDH dropout, so they don't actually have limit screws. They've popped one in, and I think that is a very neat solution. We're over with Ineos, and this is their team car with like the second, maybe even third bikes, but this is Josh Tarling's, and his is running two very interesting things. Firstly, Princeton Carbon Works wheels. They are the non-sponsor correct wheels from Shimano. He's also got a massive chainring on. That is a 1 number. It's huge. I can't see what it is because obviously this one is facing the wrong way, but it looks chunky. Coming over to the other side of the Ineos car, and Connor Swift has a drag to zero chainring. Again, a 1x setup, K-edge chain guide, but this isn't the aero one that we saw on Van Aert's bike. That was a much smoother design. This one is a lot more chunky. Which one will work best? But I do like that chainring. Over with the Tudor team now, and if you've all done your homework, you will know that these DT Swiss wheels, the GRC 1100, are from the correct gravel range. Gravel wheels for the whole team from what I can see. Now these aren't the deepest wheels, but they will be wide internally, and I guess that's what they want on these Schwalbe Pro 1 tyres. Very nice move. A tiny thing, but look at the gap between that front tyre and the top of the fork. That is tiny. You don't want any mud getting in there. Wout Van Aert is a man of many bikes, so he's got the S5 up at the front, and then he's got the Soloist, which we saw over at the team hotel, and they say that he's going to be running for the entire main section of the race. But it's interesting that he's also got an S5 on the roof, just in case he feels like he needs it. Maybe he'll start on it and they'll do a bike change, though they did say that they wouldn't. It's no real secret by now, but if you take a look at the hubs, Wout is using the GraveCap system. This allows him to inflate and deflate his tyres on the go. That's great for cobblestones because you can run lower pressures on the cobbles and then inflate your tyres back up to standard pressures for the road sections. It's a real crucial element. Grava have signed a deal with Wiebes for this year, but next year anyone will be able to use the system, so who knows, we might see a load more riders on this system next year. Passerby has just actually told us something. Look at that, spare bike with the computer ready to go. That makes me think he's going to be starting on the S5, but we shall see. Paris-Roubaix is all about keeping going when you have an issue, and these bikes are going to be really crucial in the two races. Shimano's neutral service, we've got Dura Ace C38 wheels, but also some DT Swisses. They're set up with Continental GP 5000 tyres. They are clinchers. Riders will also be taking bottles from here, but if you have a real issue, come on, follow me, you're going to be getting one of these things. These are the neutral service bikes, and these are really interesting because they've got to fit everyone in the peloton. So they've got a mix of sizes, small, some larges and mediums, but they've also got the dropper posts up here. They've also got different pedal systems, so I can see speed play, time, we've got look, Shimano will be in there somewhere. And it's basically a very old Canyon Ultimate. So it's a cracking little bike, but really you're going to want to avoid using one of these. When you're invited to sit in one of the mechanics' cars, you do. So what we've got in here is so much information. I've got a list of the teams, their disc specifications, but also some quick release, maybe, they've got a quick release kind of system on the bike already, 5mm, 6mm Allen key things. We've got a range of wheels here. I've got some tools here. We've got the impact drivers to do the through axles, and there's a little notepad just down here because you've got to remember who you've given wheels to. And I'm not going to lie, if I'm sitting here going over the cobbles, I'm going to be scared. This is great. We're over here with the DP Group team, and I've just spotted that massive chainring. It is huge. It's part of a double setup on Ultegra cranks, and I'm not sure, but it looks quite aero too. Despite any of that, That looks really cool. Up here on the team car of SD Works, we have two spare bikes for Lotte Kopecky, but they're not entirely the same. This one is featuring the 1x, and it's got a 2-piece cockpit up the front. The one in the middle has a 2x drivetrain and then a 1-piece cockpit at the front. So not entirely the same setups, but the entire car seems to be filled with bikes on the Specialized Mondo tyres. Those are 34mm wide, so big tyres for SD Works. Over at Little Trek now, and there's something very cool going on with the rear derailleur. This is the new Explore stuff from SRAM, which they've paired with kind of road-going cassettes. There's not a need for a massive range like we saw Emma Norsgaard had at Omloop. So I really like this. It is a 1x setup pretty much throughout. Very, very cool, this. Tyres are super important at the race. Pirelli P0 race, RS, TLR, whatever the order of that is. These are basically the fastest tyres that Pirelli make. They're also on bicyclerollingresistance.com as one of the fastest 28s that you can buy. Obviously the team has them in a much wider size, but it's interesting that the Little Trek team are going for pretty much the lightest tyre that they can. What an absolutely excellent weekend of bike racing that was. I have to say thank you once more to Vittoria for helping us to be here, sponsoring the video. I think I need a beer, but before I go and get that, I've got to tell you to go and subscribe. It really does help us out. And like this, if you like your bike tech, if you want to see more aero bike tech, then we checked out Van Riesel's new aero bike. That's the RCR F. It's really quite tasty. Go watch that now.